do you think poisoned Alexei Navalny in Russia?
We'll talk about that at another time.
That's what Donald Trump had to say about Alexei Navalny being poisoned by Vladimir Putin when Donald Trump was disgracing the Oval Office. And now that Vladimir Putin essentially got the green light to execute Alexei Navalny by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republican Party, Donald Trump and the MAGAs have largely remained silent, although some MAGAs have given some token statements, despite the fact that they are withholding aid to Ukraine to help Vladimir Putin. Now Donald Trump has made a post on Sunday about Navalny, and Donald Trump compares himself to Navalny and says that President Biden is like Vladimir Putin. This is actually a post that Donald Trump made. He writes, Biden, Trump, Putin, Navalny, and it's a news article from some propaganda piece. And this is what Donald Trump posts, the article, which says the following. Navalny was an opposition leader who had repeated problems with Russian law, including being charged multiple times with embezzling state funds. He had been a thorn in Putin's reign for nearly 10 years, accusing various members of Putin's administration of corruption and fraud, including Putin himself. Navalny organized protest rallies throughout Russia with tens of thousands of people denouncing the Russian autocrat's rule. Like Biden is doing to Trump, Putin returned the favor, employing the levers of government to make Navalny ineligible to run for presidential elections until 2028. This propaganda piece that Donald Trump posts as well says, here are some parallels between how Biden is targeting the former president of the United States and how President Putin went after his arch nemesis. And then this article that Donald Trump posts cites the E. Jean Carroll case. That Donald Trump was found by a federal jury to have raped E. Jean Carroll and then defamed her over and over again, including while Trump was in the courtroom. And then another jury awarded E. Jean Carroll $83.3 million. The New York civil fraud case, why that Donald Trump and his adult children continued to engage in systemic and persistent fraud over and over again. That's in the documentation themselves. And Donald Trump continued to make statements even out in the hallways while the trial was taking place, demonstrating the underlying fraud at issue. By the way, Don Jr. didn't even know that the Trump organization didn't have a chief financial officer anymore. The former chief financial officer of the Trump organization, Alan Weisselberg, was not a CPA and didn't even know about generally accepted accounting principles. Donald Trump said Eric Trump was responsible for statement of financial conditions. Eric Trump stated he never touched statement of financial conditions, but yes, explain to me why that is somehow like Vladimir Putin. So this is the article that Donald Trump posted, but I think it's important to note that this is yet another Putin-esque tactic by Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans and propaganda media, which is tell the biggest possible lie. It's all projection and confession, but just accuse Biden of being like Putin when Donald Trump is literally kind of Putin's coffee boy at this point. So why, and before he ever even disgraced the office prior to 2016. So why don't we share actual evidence right here? And the real similarity is Donald Trump to Putin, but they're not really even similar in the sense that, they're both authoritarians. I mean, Putin is. Donald Trump just wants to do Putin's bidding. Donald Trump is a second-rate wannabe authoritarian. He is Putin's coffee boy. Let's just take some examples right here. This, of course, was before the 2016 election, where Donald Trump asked his leader for help, and he said, Russia, if you're listening, find the emails. Play this clip.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by.
This is from 2014 when Donald Trump praised Vladimir Putin's invasion of Crimea. Play the clip.
All right, last name. Vladimir Putin.
Well, he's done an amazing job of taking the mantle, and he's taken it away from the president. And you look at what he's doing, and so smart. When you see the riots in a country because they're hurting the Russians, okay, we'll go and take it over. And he's really going step by step by step, and you have to give him a lot of credit. Interestingly, on the Miss Universe pageant, we just left Moscow. He could not have been nicer. He was so nice and so everything. But you have to give him credit that what he's doing for that country in terms of their world prestige is very strong.
Last thought, who's the better leader, President Obama or President Putin?
Well, it's not even a contest at this point. It's not. Now, Obama can maybe come back and maybe something happens, but so far he has played Obama like a fiddle.
So tell me a little bit about Celebrity Apprentice. Now, I hear a friend of mine, Geraldo Rivera, may be involved.
This is Donald Trump at Helsinki, embarrassing the United States of America in ways that have massive, massive implications for a very long period of time. It's one of the most shameful days in American history, period. Play this clip.
My first question for you, sir, is who do you believe? My second question is, would you now, with the whole world watching, tell President Putin, would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
So let me just say that we have two thoughts. You have groups that are wondering why the FBI never took the server. Haven't they taken the server? Why was the FBI told to leave the office of the Democratic National Committee? I've been wondering that. I've been asking that for months and months, and I've been tweeting it out and calling it out on social media. Where is the server? I want to know, where is the server, and what is the server saying? With that being said, all I can do is ask the question. My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be, but I really do want to see the server. But I have confidence in both parties. I really believe that this will probably go on for a while, but I don't think it can go on without finding out what happened to the server. What happened to the servers of the Pakistani gentlemen that worked on the DNC? Where are those servers? They're missing. Where are they? What happened to Hillary Clinton's emails? 33,000 emails gone, just gone. I think in Russia they wouldn't be gone so easily. I think it's a disgrace that we can't get Hillary Clinton's 33,000 emails. So I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And what he did is an incredible offer. He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible offer. Okay, thank you.
By the way, here's Donald Trump's recent post about Helsinki. This is what Trump writes fairly recently. Remember in Helsinki when a third-rate reporter asked me essentially who I trusted more, President Putin of Russia or our intelligence lowlifes? My instinct at the time was that we had really bad people in the form of James Comey, McCabe, whose wife was being helped out by Crooked Hillary while Crooked was under investigation, Brennan, Peter Strzok, whose wife is at the SEC, and his lover, Lisa Page. Now add McGonigal and other slime to the list. Who would you choose, Putin or these misfits? That's a post by Donald Trump very, very recently. Oh, by the way, remember when Donald Trump posted this while he was in office? Putin and I discussed forming an impenetrable cybersecurity unit so that election hacking and many other negative things will be guarded. How much can you degrade the United States of America, demean our great country by saying that you're forming a cybersecurity unit with the person who wants to destroy our country, who hacks into our country, who tries and has interfered with elections? That's what you're saying we want to form a cybersecurity unit with? Horrific, horrific stuff. By the way, this is when Donald Trump was interviewed by Meet the Press. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
About something President Putin said about you this week. I don't know if you've seen it. This was very recent. President Putin said, quote, "We surely hear that Mr. Trump says he will resolve all burning issues within several days, including the Ukrainian crisis. We cannot help but feel happy about it." What do you make of that? Do you welcome his
I
support?
like that he said that, because that means what I'm saying is right. I would get him into a room, I'd get Zelensky into a room, then I'd bring them together and I'd have a deal worked out. I would get a deal worked out. It would have been a lot easier before it started. Essentially, for 4 years, I kept them from doing anything because, you know what, I will tell you this, I've never said this, Ukraine was the apple of his eye. I said, don't ever do it, don't ever do it. He would have never done it. But again, oil prices, he wouldn't have done it because of me, but oil prices, the prices were so high that he had so much money, so he had all this money to prosecute the war. The one who drove up the prices was Biden.
Given that President Putin has bombed maternity wards, 20,000 kids kidnapped from Ukraine by Russia, mass graves. Yeah. Do you welcome his support, his all but endorsement?
Look, I had a very good relationship with him, and yet nobody was tougher on Russia than me. I stopped Nord Stream 2. You never heard of Nord Stream 2. That was the pipeline until I got involved. I said Nord Stream 2, people that were sophisticated, military people and political people never heard of Nord Stream 2. I had it ended. The pipeline was dead. Biden came in and he approved it. There was nobody tougher than me with Russia, and yet I got along with Putin. Let me tell you, I got along with him really well. And that's a good thing, not a bad thing. He's got 1,700 nuclear missiles, and so do we. But look, that's a good thing. Getting along is okay, but
Here's Donald Trump with Tucker Carlson hyping Vladimir Putin. Play the clip.
And when I watch all of the people talking about Ukraine and how's Ukraine doing, blah, 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 Russia's sitting back. First of all, Ukraine's being obliterated.
Yes.
Okay, let's not even talk nuclear. But let's say it wasn't. Let's say they were doing better than anticipated. If he decided to use his second form of destruction, which is nuclear, that's the end of that. You understand? And I know where you are in Ukraine, so I mean, you understand it better than most. Most people don't. Most people don't even talk about it. They don't talk about the fact that he has equal to the United States in nuclear capability and destruction. And so I watch all of this happening, and it's so sad.
But can I say,
I'm always on the lookout for immune strength during cold and flu season, so I just discovered an incredible product, Armra Colostrum. Now my immune health has never been stronger. I recently began using Armra Colostrum because I need something to help strengthen my gut barrier, protecting against toxins, chemicals, and pollutants that drive inflammation. Colostrum is the first nutrition we receive in life and is an exclusive source of all the essential nutrients we need in order to thrive. Armra Colostrum is sustainably sourced and is a proprietary concentrate of bovine colostrum that harnesses over 400 functional nutrients to strengthen your immune barriers, your body's inside suit of armor, and the first line of defense against harmful particles from the environment that can trigger inflammation and make you sick. Armra Colostrum strengthens immunity, ignites metabolism, fortifies gut health, promotes hair growth and skin radiance, and powers fitness performance and recovery. Armra Colostrum strengthens all 4 layers of your gut wall, where 80% of your immune cells are housed. When the immune barriers of your gut are compromised, you are left vulnerable. The body's gut wall system is your critical line of defense against particles from the environment that can make you sick. Armra Colostrum strengthens all 4 layers of gut wall system naturally, optimizing your microbiome, fortifying your gut wall architecture, and replenishing your army of immune cells, securing your highest integrity gut health and immune system. It's a rich, exclusive source of immunoglobulins, antibodies that optimize your immune defense during cold and flu season. So I take 3 to 4 scoops of Armra Colostrum a day and increase it as desired for amplified defense. As a whole food, there's no such thing as too much. We've worked out a special offer for our audience here for this Armra Colostrum. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmra.com/Meidas or enter Meidas to get 15% off your first order. That's tryarmra.com. You spell it TRYARMRA tryarmra.com/Meidas, MEIDAS. Go and check that out now. Tryarmra.com/Meidas. This is a video that Donald Trump made fairly recently in the past few months that he reposts very, very frequently or over and over again. It's a video of him attacking NATO and saying that NATO needs to be revisited. This is a video he makes of himself and posts. Play this clip.
At home, the State Department, the defense bureaucracy, the intelligence services, and all of the rest need to be completely overhauled and reconstituted to fire the deep staters and put America first. We have to put America first. Finally, we have to finish the process we began under my administration of fundamentally reevaluating NATO's purpose and NATO's mission. Our foreign policy establishment keeps trying to pull the world into conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia based on the lie that Russia represents our greatest threat. But the greatest threat to Western civilization today is not Russia. It's probably, more than anything else, ourselves and some of the horrible USA-hating people that represent us.
And here, by the way, is the recent speech where Donald Trump said that he would tell Russia to do whatever the hell they want with our NATO allies. Play this clip.
They asked me that question. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
This was the so-called CNN town hall when Donald Trump was asked about whether he wants Ukraine to win the war. Play the clip.
Absolutely.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking down this country. Now,
what do you, can I just follow up on that? You said you don't think in terms of winning and losing. Mr. President, can I just follow up on that because that's a really important statement that you just made there. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying, Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
But you won't say that you want Ukraine to win. You
know what I'll say? I'll say this. I want Europe to put up more money because they're in for 20 billion. We're in for 170, and they should be. And they should equalize. They have plenty of money. They should equalize. I got with NATO, when I sat down, I got them to put up hundreds of billions of.
Here's Donald Trump at another speech bragging that he gets along with Putin. Play this clip.
I got along well with Putin. That's a good thing. He would have never gone in, but I got along well with Putin. That's a good.
And by the way, this is what a Republican looks like today as MAGA's taken over the Republican Party. This is shameful because, I think the Republican Party was once a very proud party, and I want there to be a smart, intelligent Republican Party where there could be, actually good ideas. But this is what your typical Republican voter looks like today, and they would like Vladimir Putin to be the leader of the United States of America with Donald Trump. That's what the modern day Republican voter likes. This stuff. They like Putin. They want Putin to run America. Just think about that. Play this clip.
And with the Russia and the Ukraine conflict, what's your...
my opinion, I grew up in 40 years, under the Russian thing. And I love Putin. I love Putin. Putin is making the right, But the American people is built over there. He wants to clean them out,
He wants to get rid of Americans?
Clean them out, all the biochemical place, everything, and the nuclear thing. Yeah.
We'll have to talk more about this because
he's a good president, Number 2 after President 1. Number 2. I love him.
Never forget what Hillary Clinton said about Donald Trump being Putin's puppet during the 2016 debates. Play this clip.
Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
It's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit
No, you're
that the
puppet.
Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America, that you encouraged espionage against our people, that you are willing to spout the Putin line, sign up for his wish list, break up NATO, do whatever he wants to do, and that you continue to get help from him because he has a very clear favorite in this race.
And folks, I just want to show you what President Biden has said about NATO and what Donald Trump's support of Putin. Play this clip.
And I say to the House members, House Republicans, you got to decide. Are you going to stand up for freedom? Or are you going to side with terror and tyranny? You're going to stand with Ukraine, you're going to stand with Putin. Will you stand with America or with Trump? Republicans and Democrats in the Senate came together to send a message of unity to the world. It's time for the House Republicans to do the same thing, to pass this bill immediately, to stand for decency, stand for democracy, to stand up to a so-called leader hell-bent on weakening American security. And I mean it sincerely. History is watching. History is watching. In moments like this, we have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. The world is looking to us. There's nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. In this case, acting together includes acting with our NATO allies.
This is Jonathan Martin on This Week talking about how, today you have the Republican Party where no one wants to talk about Navalny. There's silence, and in fact, there's support of Vladimir Putin. Here, play this clip.
Former president of the United States, current Republican frontrunner, is hawking golden tennis shoes.
Our great hustler in chief, in the spirit of Buffalo Bill and P.T. Barnum, is now running for president while simultaneously selling golden shoes and potentially looking for more cash to pay off civil trials that he's now on the hook for. Look, this is who Trump is. The American people know this is who he is. They don't seem bothered by it. At least half the country doesn't. So it shouldn't be a surprise. But you couldn't script somebody who is less interested, apparently, in trying to lock up the Republican primary. I mean, he's giving Nikki Haley fodder day in, day out. His comments, his actions, his lack of commentary, not saying anything about Navalny. The leader of one of our two parties in the most important country in the world doesn't say a word about the murder of a dissident in Russia is extraordinary. And guess what, John? The Republican voters respond with a collective yawn.
And finally, let me share this with you. This is John Bolton, Donald Trump's National Security Advisor. Here's what he has to say about Trump. Play this clip.
It's great to have you. I just wonder, kind of bluntly, if Donald Trump is reelected, do you think that means the end of NATO as we know it now?
Yeah, yes, I do. I think he will withdraw. I think you have to take what he's saying as coming directly from what he has long been saying privately and in some cases publicly. It's a little disturbing now to hear some Republicans saying, well, he's just bargaining with NATO, or this is just the way he talks. That's not right. He has used this failure of many members, a majority of NATO members, to spend 2% of their GDP on defense, as they all voluntarily committed to do in 2014. Not to strengthen NATO, but to help destroy it. It is true that after his criticisms, more was spent by European members of NATO on defense. But that wasn't going to change his mind, because there were a lot of other criticisms he had as well. So, it is, I was there with him in the spring of 2018 at the NATO summit in Brussels, where he damn near did get out of NATO. He is serious about it. And whether you're a Trump supporter or a Trump opponent, don't think he's kidding about this one.
Yeah.
So no, when Donald Trump posts, that he's like Navalny, I mean, it is as offensive as you can possibly get. And I want to share with you the stakes. And I think it is very important that you take a video like this, and if you can, share it with pro-democracy voters, share it with independents, share it with mainstream Republicans. I give you all the data points so you can say, just watch what Trump's saying in his own words. Here's what he's saying. Use these videos as a toolkit and just share them with people and just say, watch, what do you think? get through the end of the video, then give me a call. Tell them that. And if you do that to a few people every day and use this video as an example, I think we can make a big difference together. I just want to get out accurate data. That's what's most important to me. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers thanks to your support. Have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.